everyone, so welcome back to my channel today, and we are doing a brand new Sims 4 creative sim video because today I thought it'd be really fun to do a nice, happily divorced family creative sim to wind down on a nice Tuesday afternoon and do a little bit of backstory while creating some Sims in the Sims 4. And so I'm making 3 different Sims: Isabelle Riley, Stefan Riley, and Yelena Neff. Now, these 3 Sims used to live all together. There's 2 adults and 1 child. The child is only like 8 years old, and these 2 other Sims are like 35 and 42. And what I find so unique about them is that Isabelle Riley has lived in Willow Creek for the past 35 years of her life. She has never moved anywhere else other than Brychester to go to university for like 1 year, and then immediately came back to live with her parents for the rest of her term to not afford, the dorm life or be social with people as much. Because during her time in university, she had a child with this one odd stranger, aka her professor, in university, and decided to just move back home and take care of the child and kind of live their life the way they wanted to live it without the fear of judgment from other, her peers and people around her that knew her parents, but also just general people, I would say, in society are just very judgmental. And Isabelle didn't really want that, and neither did her parents. And she wanted to have a life that she could be proud of, a life that she could show to her son, Stefan Riley, and be the person and the mother that she wanted to be for the rest of her life. And so Isabelle is a 35-year-old, female right now at this current time, graduated at the top of her class at summa cum laude at Brychester University, and is now in the education career as the department head. And what I find so cool is that during their time in university, and every time that Isabelle will go to, the campus, do some classes, see some people, do some clubs or whatever, and hang out and do graduation, she found a lovely person that was a little bit older than her, Yelena Neff. And Yelena Neff is a sim that I just particularly do not like whatsoever, because not only did Yelena Neff weasel her way into Isabelle's life to marry her towards like the end of like midway of Isabelle's junior year, and Yelena was already, graduated and everything. They got married, and Isabelle's parents didn't like that. They kind of fought. They kind of just, did their own little bickering arguments, things. They got over it and they were settled. They were fine with it after a couple of, years. And so at that point, Stefan was like 2 years old, and, Yelena was just doing her own thing, and Isabelle was doing their own thing, and they got married. But after Isabelle kind of graduated university and became more sure of herself and became more of like, okay, I want to be in this career. I want to talk to these people. I want to be able to have this type of like, income coming to the household, but also kind of pursue a life that I want to pursue and achieve the impossible. Because Isabelle's parents always taught her to do things that were impossible, because when you do the impossible, it is possible. Like Kim Possible. Kind of like a little motto that, Isabelle had for a long time in her bed, in her head, but also in her bed too, in her diary as well. So kind of a win-win in her head, in her bed. Either way, like I said, Isabelle Riley is a good person. And ever since she had Stefan, she's become a changed woman, a changed person that I could see really going above and beyond and changing the way the world works. And when Yelena came into the picture, things were fine for the next couple of years. I would say about 4 or 5 years at that point. Things were normal, things were fine. Nothing was too crazy and too obscured. And so when they both got into the same career, let's just say that when Yelena was talking to the head honcho, the head chancellor of the school that they were both going to work at, they felt that it just didn't seem the right fit for Isabelle, because secretly, what was very funny about this is that Isabelle had a baby with her professor, who so happened to be Yelena's brother, and didn't know, because Yelena's brother died 2 years afterwards, like 2 years later, and didn't know anything about his immediate family, didn't really care, didn't really talk to him, just didn't really know anything of any kind. Now, you're probably thinking, That's so cliche. That's so weird. I don't like that. It's a weird, sleeping with your professor story. It's not like that. It's more like it just kind of happened type of thing, and it's more of like it's not the main focus. I find that certain situations happen in real life but also in the Sims, and I always find that you can rise above and change your narrative and not have that be the main focus of what it has to be. And so the narrative is that even though that happened, we don't let that be our future. We don't let that stop us achieving what we want to achieve in life. And Isabel was like, that's my past, and I don't care about my past. I won't want to rehash it. I don't want to relive that and really just kind of bring it up over and over and over. And that's what Yelena did. She brought it up over and over and over for many, many years. And what I find so concerning about that is that Yelena kind of sought revenge towards Isabel because of her brother and wanted to kind of get back at her for what she did to him, but also kind of it's like what the whole society kind of did to Isabel. They kind of judged her for what she did and who she is and where she lives and how she does it and how she was going to be able to do things. And they thought that she was trying to get after someone or trying to take someone's money, but in retrospect she wasn't. She wasn't really doing anything harmful to other people. She was just doing things because she fell in love, and falling in love is it's tricky, and sometimes you fall in love with the wrong person, and things happen. So in all, Isabel is a kind person. We love her, we cherish her 100%. Now back to my story that I was going to tell. Now, Yelena, let's just say, she's a bit of a character. She's 42 years old, and at this point, she has had a very, very interesting life. One, she sabotaged Isabel's career, not once, but 3 times to the superintendent of, the whole district of Willow Creek, and tried to get Isabel fired multiple occasions for, misconduct for the whole student body or whatever, not treating the students fairly, stealing people's stuff in their classrooms. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Now, when Isabel found out what Yelena was doing, Isabel was like, so Yelena, honey, sweetie, what you doing? Is everything all right? Yelena's like, no, you did this and this and that and that and that and that. And Isabel's like, that's not what I did. I didn't do no such thing, and you got no proof. But also, I have proof. I got receipts. I was here at this time, I was there at that time, and I was doing this and there at that time. So you can't pin all these things on me. And basically, at the end of the day, this was like towards the end of Stefan's, I don't know how to describe it, like not eighth grade, but he's like 9 years old at this point when they got divorced, basically. So 9 years old, that grade in the US. How old was I at 9 years old? I think I was in fourth. I'm going to say fourth grade. Let's go with that. But basically, at the end of the school year, let's go with that. At the end of the school year, basically what happened was that Yelena got fired. Yelena got fired from her job and had to basically move from Willow Creek to San Myshuno in a nice rink-a-dink 2-story apartment in the fashion district. And that is where Yelena currently resides at this current moment. And they are no longer on speaking terms whatsoever. It's because what all went down in the whole school district. And these two are still in the education career, but at two separate districts. Yelena lives in San Myshuno, Isabel lives in Willow Creek. And so in all, they are a happily divorced couple because they did have happy moments, but they also had very sad and tragic and not so good moments that could really be the happiest of moments to reflect on in the future. Now, from this point on, I have done a lot of things to really progress in everyone's life, what their careers were, what their skills were, their aspirations, what levels they were at. And the big question is, will the Riley family do the impossible? Yes, they will. That is the answer. Yes, they will. They will achieve the impossible in Willow Creek and beyond. Because, like I said, Stefan, he's 9 years old, and the world is his oyster. There is no stopping Stefan. He is like, that eye candy, heartthrob child that will cause people trouble and really break some hearts. But that's the price people are willing to pay for Stefan Riley. He is a social butterfly, and he also is an insider, so he's like really good with the people, really good with the children and the club. So I can really see him like being just the best of the best. And the one thing that I really love about Isabelle is that she wants to become a classical painter and really showcase the arts in school. And she's the department head of the arts, department in Willow Creek. So painter extraordinaire, apartment head for the arts department, which is really cool. So I'm very excited for Isabelle and Stefan. Yelena, however, though, Yelena's Elena. Like, Yelena was something. She's a nerd brain aspiration, so she's book smart and also very handy. High maintenance, an overachiever, but also is a bookworm. So you can kind of see how Yelena and Isabelle's life was for the past couple of years. Even though Isabelle wasn't like a whole overachiever, wasn't really reaching for the stars and trying to do everything and everything, like anything and everything, Isabelle was like, I'm just here for the moment. I'm here just to chill, take it easy. I've got years ahead of me to do whatever I want to do, retire when I want to retire, and live my life the way I want to live it, and live the life with my son. And we only got like, I don't know, 10 years left until, or I guess 9 years left until Stefan goes to university, if he goes to university. And I feel like by then we'll have so much ahead of us in The Sims 4 that I could really do something with this family and really make a difference and really make these Sims the way I want to make them, but do a different spin on it, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. In all, those are my Sims. Yelena Neff, Isabelle Riley, Stefan Riley, the happily divorced family, in the eyes of The Sims 4. Now, if you want to download these Sims, they're on the gallery for download with all custom, aspirations, skills, and a few extra things that I have figured out that you can have in The Sims 4 when you upload them to the gallery. So if you want a full customized family, you've got them. They're up there. Get them. They're actually separate. So I've already uploaded the Riley family, and Yelena Neff is by herself. So 2 separate downloads, but they're all like customized to their liking, or I guess to my liking. But you get what I mean. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, if that story made any sense. I don't know if it did. In my eyes, in my head, it did make sense. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!